5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're here. Actually, I'm solo today. I'm riding solo today because we have not done a podcast in a very long time. And we are becoming older and more tired and lazier. And that's on me and also on others. That's how life works. You get older, you're like, I don't want to waste my time and energy, I want to relax, watch some fucking car accidents on YouTube or whatever. And that's just how the cookies crumbled, that's how life works. But I'm here though, to entertain whoever wants to be entertained. And today we are going to talk about the 1989 album that Taylor Swift just released. The best for last, people. The best album for last. She re-recorded every single fucking album, re-released them, put a bunch of bonus tracks, because who doesn't like that bonus money? And this was, I believe, the last album she had to re-record, which was the 1989 album that originally came out in 2014. And now the new version's out. There's a couple songs on that Taylor version that I'm super confused about, because there's some extra songs on there that's not on the original album. As she calls it, the stolen album. The Taylor Swift stolen album. Because I don't know if people know the story about Taylor Swift on why she decided to re-record all these albums. Why she decided to go balls to the walls and pump that fucking banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, and then new bangers, and then volt bangers, and then all the fucking bangers. People are like, why is there so much Taylor Swift? It's because of business and businessmen and men who took advantage of Taylor Swift. Because she was a little young girl making beautiful music for the world to listen to. Great music. Easy listening, clean, good. Your typical beautiful blonde, red lip, white girl that every guy fantasizes about. She was making them hits after hits. And then the big man decided that we can sell her catalog because we own these versions of these songs, and we can make not millions of dollars, not tens of millions of dollars, not even hundreds. It was even more than, it was like 330 fucking million dollars they made off of her whole fucking catalog. And then Taylor Swift got zero from that deal. Zero. Nada. Not even a single penny from that sale. Not even a single dollar from selling her life's work behind her back to a corporate for hundreds of millions of dollars, $330 million, that she It was probably even more. I'm probably getting that wrong. I'm probably getting that wrong. It probably was even more money than that. So Taylor Swift was like, okay, you motherfuckers. You think you're the top shit in this fucking industry? You think you're the man? I'm the man. That's why she has a song called The Man. Because she's like, I just got fucked in the fucking ass by these men. I got fucking railroaded. I got burnt. So Taylor Swift decided, I own the writing and the lyrics. Which was probably the smartest thing that woman could have ever done in her fucking life, is be like, I own the words, the writing, the music. I don't own that particular version, but I can remake it, repackage it the way that now that I'm older and wiser, I can make it even bigger than it was in 2014. We're in the year 2023 now. That's basically 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago. And she was like to the big corporates, go fucking fuck yourself. I am going to change the world and change and take control of my music. And she became an alpha woman that day. There's a lot of alpha males. There's not a lot of alpha women. So she took the game by storm. She's like, we're gonna pump and dump now all this music. And then that started a revolution. A revolution by a musician that probably no one has ever fucking seen before. They sold that catalog for $330 million. Now she has re-released all the albums and has, I think, like four new albums. The Midnight's Lover, Evermore, and wow, I'm going blank. Totally forget what the other album's called. Folklore, Evermore, Lover, and Midnight's. I think those are her new albums. That's 4 albums in 4 years, on top of the other old albums she released. So, anyways, she decided to be to the corporate go fuck yourself, eat a donkey dick, and now she's made $1 billion from her catalog. She made $1 billion from her catalog. You hear that, you big corporate fucking blood-sucking whores? She made $1 billion from that catalog you sold behind her back for $300 million. I think she made $300 million just off of her concert movie that just came out. But she just released the 1989 fucking album. And I have what she calls the stolen version. This is the original. Taylor Swift, 1989 album that came out in 2014 by Big Machine Records. The big money people. The big money gang. This is the album that made me a Taylor Swift fan. I think this was the first album I listened to front to back to front, back, front by Taylor Swift. First album. Taylor Swift. Look at this. 1989, baby. 1989 album. The original album. With bangers. Blank Space Style. Out of the Woods. Shake It Off. Bad Blood. Wildest Dreams. Clean. So, my confusion is she has this new version of 1989. And this is the... You can't fucking debate me on this. This is the original. You can't get more original than this. Taylor Swift, 1989 album. Do you see the song Wonderland on there? No, I don't. I do not see a song called Wonderland. Now in this new version, there's a song Wonderland. And I'm wondering where the fuck it came from. Because it's not labeled as From the Vault. It's labeled as like it was on the fucking album originally. Which it wasn't. It was not. But this bad boy, this is like a history book. This is like an album that put a musician on the map for music. Because look at this. Fucking, she has it even written here. I hope the camera's fucking focusing on it. It says Nashville, Tennessee, country girl making a banger of kind of like a rock country album. Not even country. This album's not even fucking country. Ugh. You can tell this is how old it is. It fucking falls apart. But look at this, man. She made it like person. Like, I look at this fucking... Like, she wrote... This is the foreword. Look at this. This is a whole written piece in here. Whole written piece in here. Let's read it. Let's give you goosebumps. I was born in Reading, Pennsylvania on December 13th of 1989. My birthday's on December 16th. We're the same week, bitch. Anyways. It's written here. In the world we live in, much is said about when we are born and when we die. Our birthday is celebrated every year to commemorate the very instant we came into the world. And a funeral is held to mark the day we leave it. But lately, I've been wondering, what can be said for all the moments in between our birth and our death, and the moments we are reborn? The debate over whether people can change is an interesting one for me to observe, because it seems like all I ever do is change. All I ever do is learn from my mistakes, so I don't make the same ones again. Then I make new ones. I know people could change because it happens to me little by little every day. Every day I wake up as someone slightly new. It isn't it wild and intriguing. I don't know how to read. Intriguing and beautiful to think that every day we are new. For the last few years, I've woken up every day not wanting, but needing to write a new style of music. I needed to change the way I told my stories and the way I sounded. I listened to a lot of music from the decade in which I was born and listened to my intuition that was a good thing to follow this gut feeling. I was also writing a different storyline than I'd ever told you before. I wrote about moving to the loudest and brightest city in the world. The city I had always been overwhelmed by, until now. I think you have to know who you are and what you want in order to take on New York and all of its blaring truths. I wrote about the thrill I got when I finally learned that love, to some extent, is just a game of cat and mouse. I wrote about looking back on the lost love and understanding that nothing good comes without loss and hardship and constant struggle. There is no riding off into the sunset like I used to imagine. We are never out of the woods because we are always going to be fighting for something. I wrote about love that comes back to you just when you thought it was lost forever, and how some feelings never go out of style. I wrote about an important lesson I've learned recently, that people can say whatever they want about me, but they can't make me lose my mind. I've learned how to shake things off. I've told you my stories for years. Some have been about coming of age. Some have been about coming undone. This is the story about coming into your own, and as a result, coming alive. I hope you know that you've given me the courage to change. I hope you know that who you are is who you choose to be, and that whispers behind your back don't define you. You are the only one who gets to decide what you will be remembered for. From the girl who said she would never cut her hair or move to New York City or find happiness in the world. Where she is not in love. Love, Taylor Swift. So that's the foreword from the original album that no one will ever, I repeat, see on Spotify. But she wrote this foreword to explain the album of 1989. That you have to go through changes to make yourself a better person. A better human being. And then this album is like a Polaroid album of her basically going to New York. Look at this. All these lyrics. The original lyrics that Taylor Swift wrote. You know, the art. We got style, out of the woods. Like, look at these. Old school Polaroid album. Taylor Swift, baby. The queen of music. The alpha woman of music. Okay? That changed people's lives. Like, you know? Like, look at this classic. Classic, classy woman. And I hope she knows that she has changed many lives with this album. And this is why I keep this album. This is why I keep this album. Because it's a memory. It's a memory of a time and a place where it was interesting. It was interesting to me. Where was I in 2014? I don't even know if I started doing YouTube in 2014. I think I did. Totally forgot how old I was in 2014. I got a blank space with that memory. But I do remember how I got this album. It was in 2014. It was November. I also want to show that. Look at what it says here. Executive producer Taylor fucking Swift. To show she always owned her shit. You always gotta own your shit. You know? Fuck. 2014! Where I got this album. I got it as a gift. I got this as a gift. That it was a gift that changed me forever. This album. Because at that time, I was friends with a lot of evil human beings. I would say evil human beings that ended up being ruining their potential of being good human beings. When I got this album, I used to road trip to Ottawa, Canada. If you don't know where Ottawa is, go look on a fucking map. It's the capital of Canada. I had friends going to university there at the time. He had a nice apartment. It was in the downtown area, literally down the street from Parliament and Parliament Hill in Ottawa. And I went to visit this friend. We'll call him Meat Face, because that's what ended up happening to him. Was he became a meat face, and we originally made a show on YouTube called Let's Talk About Shit. That was the original podcast that we decided we were going to film for an hour and a half of talking, and I was going to cut it into like mini topic stories instead of making it like an hour and a half us talking about shit and shit we didn't know we were talking about. And that I was filming with an angry person at the time who was just angry at life. So we were visiting this man because he was a really good friend at the time. And we were visiting him in Ottawa. And I brought 3 friends with me. We did a road trip. It takes 6 hours to get there. I went with my friend Coop, who I just recently went to Thailand with, and all these other places with. I go visit him in Edmonton for his birthday every year. Or we go somewhere, we do an adventure. We went to Thailand for 3 weeks. Went to Asia. That was an interesting trip. That was fun. So I went with Coop. I went with another friend. I'm going to call her the Little Mermaid. And I went with another friend. We'll call her Gator. So Gator, Mermaid, and Coop, we all hopped in the car. We drove 6 hours to Ottawa. And so we initially made a deal where we were going to pay $40 each for gas. Split 4 ways because it was a lot of driving. And at that time in 2014, I was making shit money. I think I was making, I want to say like $12 an hour in 2014. I want to say I was making like $12 an hour. Maybe even, maybe 13. Okay, I'm going to say 13 to 14 bucks an hour in 2014. So, you know, not a lot of income. I was like with everyone else. Everyone agreed ahead of time. We're going to do $40 each to pitch in to go to Ottawa, the capital, the big city. Big city, just like this album, 1989. Taylor Swift's like, I'm going to go to the big city for the first time in my life. I'm going to go to New York. In Canada, you're like, I'm going to go to the capital. I'm going to go to that big city where they change people's lives every day for good or for bad. I'm going to go there. I'm going to visit. It's kind of like my first times going to Ottawa, to the big city. Went there a bunch of times. Had a couple of friends who lived there that turned out to be not the best guys. And that's how it goes. People change, just like this album. Like she wrote, people change. And then you have to change and acknowledge that these people are no longer healthy for me to communicate with, to be associated with, to if we stay together, that we're going to drag each other to the ground. And that if we separate now and part our ways now, we will both grow and become different and better human beings if we decide to part ways now. So anyways, went to Ottawa with Gator, Mermaid, Coops to visit Meatface. And we're in Ottawa. Went there 2 weeks in a row, actually, with different groups of friends that are, it's kind of funny. It's like all friends I don't talk to anymore or really even communicate with anymore. Funny how things change, you know, how people just go, I'm done with you today. I'm done with you. You know, because I was the one who always led the charge on trips and doing things and like, come on, the more you see, the more you're going to learn, the more it's going to educate you, the more it's going to transform you as an individual to understand the world more if we're going to go see more of the world. Okay? So we're in Ottawa. Mermaid and Gator. Are going around. Try to be nice girls, you know. In Ottawa, there is a homeless problem. In Ottawa, there is a lot of homeless people. Lots of homeless people. Like, they have a whole like a street called they call it basically Piss Lane. Because it's just a strip of homeless people by the Rideau Center, which is like the big shopping mall in the middle of the city. Anyways, there's homeless people everywhere in Ottawa. We're in Ottawa. And they're trying to buy homeless people food. Trying to be nice to homeless people. That I don't think people understand that homeless people don't ask for help unless they need it. Like, if you're gonna just randomly go up to a homeless guy and be like, what do you want to eat? The homeless guy doesn't even know what he wants to eat. First of all, you don't know what the fuck he's allergic to. And the homeless guy's like, yeah, I'm just going to eat something random? I'm going to eat something random and just get an allergic reaction and die? Fuck that. So Mermaid and Gator were like, because they were like big titty cute girls. I'm going to call them big titty cute girls. They were like, oh, we're going to try to buy homeless people random food and all this shit. And be nice girls, you know? So we were in Ottawa for a couple days, just on my days off. And at the time, I really liked Iggy Azalea. At that time, the album The New Classic just came out. Yeah, I want to say it was The New Classic. The New Classic just came out. And I love that album. And I was like, I've never heard a chick rap like this before. And I think she was a pioneer of rap music for women, Iggy Azalea. And I liked Iggy Azalea. We were listening to her album. And then my friends, Mermaid and Gator, were like, we went to the store. And we bought you a new album for your car. Because at the time, in 2014, CDs were big before streaming. This is 10 years ago almost. Oh. This is like the early transition from CDs to streaming. Went to the store, buy you a new CD. We're going to listen to this album in the car on the way back, because we cannot listen to Iggy Azalea anymore. We can't stand her voice. They were bashing Iggy, which then the irony is that Mermaid ended up moving to Australia and now is a permanent resident and living in Australia. And she was hating on Australians before, and now she, I'm guessing, loves Australia. So kudos to her. So they came to me and they're like, we bought this album. 1989, Taylor Swift. We know you like Taylor Swift. And we bought the album for you as a gift. And we need to listen to this album on the car ride home. So this album basically fell on my lap. And it changed me. Because I never heard music like this. And like she wrote in the foreword, she's like, I want to create a new style of music. And this was a catalyst for a new style of music. Anyways, we're driving home. We pull up to a gas station. I looked to the girls. I said, whose turn is it to pitch for the gas? And I started seeing red because I felt betrayal, because they had enough money to feed almost every single fucking homeless man in Ottawa. They had money to go buy me this gift of this album. And then now they don't want to pay for gas $40. $40 they didn't want to pay. And I was seeing red because now they're costing me more money. Now they're fucking me because the original plan was $40 each for gas. That way we all have money to do fun and cool stuff. Like in Ottawa, if you go, there's an amazing bar in the Byward Market called Patty Boland's. And we used to go there. And oh my God, on football days, which was Monday Night Football, we would be there on Monday Night Football, $2 for a pound of chicken wings, 8 chicken wings. Only $2. Best bar in the fucking city. So we go get like 2 pounds of wings, a Stella, a beer. Bill's like $15, $16. That's it. It's fucking the same like going to some bullshit McDonald's, okay? You know, money, no problem for that. But, you know, teamwork makes the dream work, and they were being selfish at the time. So I was like, listen, I'm like, a deal's a deal, man. I'm like, someone's gotta cough up 40 fucking bucks right now. So Mermaid gave me the money. 40 bucks. Coops paid 40 bucks. I paid 40 bucks. That was it. Gator did not pay nothing. She paid nothing. So after that day, I was like, it's time for a change, because I keep taking these girls and wasting time with these girls going to Ottawa, because the week before I went with different girls. I went with Chicken Wing and Big Tits. Those are two completely different girls. So I went with them to Ottawa. I went with them to Ottawa. I went to visit people that never went out of their way to visit me in Ottawa. In Ottawa, that time period was I was spending a lot of time with people who I figured out after could give two shits about me. It was like a wake-up call. It was like time for a change, like she wrote it in this 1989 foreword, that you just gotta get up, go from Reading, Pennsylvania to New York City, and change. And completely change, and start fresh, and do something new, and fucking build that empire that you want to build for yourself as an individual, right? So I was like, that day I was like, it's time for change. I need to stop wasting my time with people who don't respect me or acknowledge me. They kind of just use me to go to these places, take advantage of me, to go to these places because it will be a good time with me. It will be a great time with me. It would be, Grant is leading the trip. He knows what's up. He knows where to go. He knows what to do. He has done the research. Let's hop on his saddle and join him on this horse ride to the promised land. Because I'm the guy who puts in the time and work. I believe work outdoes talent. I believe if you fucking work your fucking ass off and you fucking work hard to something, oh my God, you could accomplish a lot. And don't be afraid to ask your worth either. If you know your worth and you're not getting it, don't be afraid to ask. I've learned that in life. I learned a lot from this experience of going to Ottawa nonstop, going to get this. I got this as a gift from the universe. The universe was like to Mermaid and Gator in the store. And they were in the store by themselves. We didn't even go to the store with them at that day. They're like, we need to get Grant this gift. We need to get this for Grant. Which the universe was like, I'm going to change your life with this one little thing that will lead you to a path that will lead you to more succession. Because I believe after I kind of moved on from them, from that trip. I moved on in 2014. I was like, I'm done. I can't fuck myself by giving these people happiness and then they're causing me sadness. So I gotta move on. I gotta, you know. All you gotta do is stay? No staying. Time to move. You gotta keep moving. Don't look back. And then you hear the whispers behind your back, just like Taylor Swift wrote about, like, oh, later on, like, years down the road running into Gator fucking down the road. Oh, I thought you always hate me. I don't hate you. The thing is, I had to completely erase you from my mind. I had to erase the history we had, which was going to Ottawa, going to here. I drove you to work all the way to Niagara Falls the one time. No problem. It helped you so many times with different situations and different things. And I just never got anything in return. And I just can't keep helping people that won't acknowledge me or even give me the time of day or even have a conversation. But when we're face to face, then you'll give me the time of day. Because now you see where I am today. And you're like, holy shit, this boy is now a man who knows who he is. Because since this album came out till now, from 2014 till now in 2023, I've learned what kind of human I want to be. And I just want to create things that make people happy, and I hate when people are mad and sad. And I hate being sad. I want everyone to have a good time. I want everyone to be happy. And I hope whoever's watching this is happy that someone's actually making a video talking about this topic and the power of Taylor Swift and what she means to people with her art. And I got motivated that day. I was like, I need to create fucking something that will have the same influence and motivate people to accept change. Accept change and learn from mistakes. That was mistakes I learned from that day. And that you just got to move on, and you're like, I want a good group of people to be with, which is what I found with the boys after. That's the group. That's the melting pot. That's the gang. Ottawa was the area where I learned all these people you encountered with in Ottawa are not healthy for you, not healthy for anyone, and that they need to grow, but they have to grow on their own. They have to go on their own and go on their own journey. You have to go on your own in your own journey and really find who you are. And they have to find who they are because they don't know who they are yet. They're getting frustrated at the world for putting them in situations that they put themselves in, and they can't accept that the decisions they made that led them to that point was because of them, that they have to blame an outside source for that problem. That's what I've learned. You can only blame yourself for putting yourself in situations where when you get burned, you're like, fuck, I did that to myself, and I'm going to learn from that mistake. So this 1989 album, because of this album, it changed me. It changed me to travel more, to explore more, because I read that forward. And it said, you got to go out there, you got to explore, you got to see, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of being judged. Don't be afraid of doing things you want to do for yourself. Like with me, like I dyed my hair blue. I did a whole series where I lost 100 fucking pounds. I've traveled like probably almost like 1,000,000 kilometers globally at this point. I've done a lot, and I'm still gonna do a lot. And because of this album, has a song called Bad Blood. Okay? Because of this album, I started making those parody songs. I said it would be funny to make a funny anal sex song called Bad Blood. And this was the catalyst that for me to end up making all those parody songs. The anal mixtape, as you could call it. Or I called it, sorry. This was a catalyst for it. I did that Bad Blood. And then that showed me a thing where I filmed it like with my back towards the camera. And I didn't have like lyrics ahead of time. And I learned from that video, don't be scared of no one. Don't be scared. People need to see videos like this of people just talking and perspectives and point of views. And don't be afraid to stare at the camera, sing, make some funny words, make people smile, and make people happy, and make them laugh. No dark shit. Let's pump some light. Let's pump some light into here. Because people have to deal with dark shit every single fucking day, wherever they are. You just be that moment of light. So, I made the Bad Blood. I called it Anal Blood. That was the catalyst for the parody songs. And it's because of this 1989 album, which is now re-released. And you know, everyone has their own story of different time periods and different things. And it's kind of like a full circle moment where now this 1989 album is re-released. This is the stolen version, apparently. Stolen version. Even though it says Taylor Swift, executive producer. You know, you get you get that drive. You get that wake-up call. And now we're like 10 years later after that album originally came out. And I can say I'm pretty happy. I'm in a better place with better friends and a better mindset. A better judge of character, if you want to call it. Yeah, judge of character. I would say I'm healthier now. I take care of myself more. I give myself more free time to relax and reflect and keep myself sane and not overwork myself. Because at that time, I was working a lot. I was doing a lot, I was moving a lot, and I was definitely unhealthy at the time because I ended up getting unhealthy. Ended up gaining all that weight after, hitting almost 300 pounds. Put me in a dark place like after that because I was like, man, how and why is this happening? You just gotta sit there and analyze. You gotta be like, what we gotta change here, folks? What we gotta change, you know? So that's the new album, 1989. Go listen to a Taylor version. You know, there's a bunch of bonus tracks on there. One of them is called "Slut," and I was like, all right. I was like, that's a very interesting bonus song. There's a couple other bonus songs, which I can't think of on the top of my head, because I'm just thinking about this version that does not have the song Wonderland on it. But for some reason is labeled as an OG version. So, yeah. And then now we fast forward till today. Still friends with Coops. The only person from that gang, that Ottawa gang from that trip, that I'm still friends with to today. in a way. Still communicate with him. Still do things with him. He showed me loyalty, which is a good thing, but, that's the thing, man. That's the thing, and fuck, I am going blank. Ah! Anyways, that was my story time. I have no idea how long I was going for. I just wanted to talk about 1989 and how that changed me and made this YouTube channel kind of possible and kind of motivated me. And I want a Taylor Swift. I'm talking to you, Taylor. Fucking listen to me, girl. Okay. Listen to me. If you watch this at some point, me and you, girl, you're coming to Toronto. You're doing 6 concerts there, 2 weekends in a row. I want to interview you. I want to do an interview with you. Or an adventure or something. I'm putting this out into the fucking universe. I want to be the person who does a nice in-depth interview. I want to know the stories. I want to know the person. Because no one knows you. If that makes sense. Everyone knows you, but no one knows you. We know the stories behind the songs, but we don't know the actual stories behind the person. And I think it would be amazing that after all this success now that you're at for changing, and to express it like in a verbal thing, like an interview or an adventure or something, or a hangout, I think it would be good. I think it would be good. And I think it would be a very full circle moment to do an interview. I'm just putting it out in the universe. People think I'm fucking crazy, but you never know what could fucking happen. Fucking Bobby Altatoff, or whatever the fuck her name is, ended up doing an in-bed interview with Drake. So you never know. Maybe you'll see Grant Stiles interviewing fucking Taylor Swift about life and life lessons and what to learn and how to navigate. Because me and her have something in common. We can't find love. God damn it. No one loves us. Or people love us, but they don't love us. I don't know. She can't keep a boyfriend. I can't find a girlfriend. Fucking bullshit. Yeah. Alright. That's the solo episode. I think. Alright, if people are wondering, this shirt does say dildo. And this is a real city in Newfoundland. I'm going to tell a quick story about Newfoundland. Okay. In Newfoundland, we went there for a trip recently. No one has seen it on YouTube yet. Oh. It won't come out till next year, but I went with my friend. We flew to Deer Lake, which is on one side of the island. It's a big island. Okay. One side of the island, Deer Lake. The other side of the island has St. John's, Newfoundland. So we did a road trip from Deer Lake to St. John's, Newfoundland, which is, if you look on Google Maps, from Deer Lake to St. John's, Newfoundland, it's like 700 to 800 kilometers. And then we did offshoot pit stops along the way. We went to Bona Vista. We went to Grossmorn National Park. So we probably did like 1,200 kilometers of drive on the island. So we rented a car from Enterprise from the airport. Rented the car. My friend booked it online. She said she picked the unlimited kilometers option, and then they gave us an SUV, a nice Hyundai Tucson, big SUV. So we drove for 4 days from Deer Lake to St. John's, Newfoundland, and we get to the airport at St. John's, Newfoundland, and they're like, because the original price for that rental was like $380 or something like that. We pull up to St. John's, Newfoundland, and we're like, the guy was like, your total is $2,560. Enterprise, you scumbag fucks, try to charge us $2,560 for a rental car for 4 fucking days that we picked an unlimited option for, and it's physically impossible to drive 4,000 kilometers on the island of Newfoundland in 4 days. So we had a panic attack. We went in, fixed everything, and they really killed us with kindness because they fucked us. And I learned that in Newfoundland, with their horrible fucking accents, they sound like their accent sounds like an Irish person drowning. You know, I don't make the language, they do over there. They just all speak like they're drowning Irishmen. And they kill you with that kindness, and then they fuck you in the ass when you don't see them. So they tried charging us that much money for a rental car at Enterprise. The guy fixed it. We ended up paying more money, though, like almost $600 for a 4-day rental. 4 days. Rental. $600. Kill me. Probably could have bought a fucking car for $400 on Kijiji and just drove in, left down the side of the road for cheaper. But you know, that's how business works, you know? You get fucked by the big man. Just like Taylor Swift, she got fucked by the big man. And then you learn from that mistake and you're like, all right, now when I book with Enterprise, I'm going to book with people I know that work at Enterprise so I don't get fucked by Enterprise. Because everyone always gets fucked by the Enterprise. The big bosses. And you learn from those mistakes. Anyways, that was a quick story time with the dildo thing. Went to Dildo, Newfoundland as well. You know, Dildo Brewery. Beer was shit. It is what it is. Beer was shit. As a guy who tries so much fucking beer from different places, their beer was shit. Sorry. Tasted like someone dipped a used dildo in the fucking beers and then filled the cups. It was like, here you go. So. And yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Because, you know, baby, now we got bad blood. It used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done. Because, baby, now we got bad blood. Hey.